All right, Barry, I'm having a look around at your rolling stock and your locomotives. I gather from the variety you haven't settled on an era or a theme exactly for the railway yet.
Well, no, it's I'm a freelancer, and I like to run what I enjoy. So some of my favorite railways are Canadian Pacific, Union Pacific, Denver, Rio Grande, Canadian National. Those would be probably my favorites, and most of my locomotives fall into one of those categories. I've got about 50% narrow gauge and 50% standard gauge. Narrow gauge being 1 to 24 on average, and standard gauge being 1 to 29 in terms of scale. And I have almost every road name imaginable, I think, in terms of rolling stock. So the whole railway is freelance, but I do have 50% of older era, and I have 50% newer, and I run only one of them at any given time in an operating session.
Am I correct that we're going to have the inaugural running of the Belleville in Eastern Ontario?
That is right. We are ready to do the maiden voyage. We have a Canadian Pacific GP40 with a train ready to roll. So if you'd like, we can start her up.
Love to. Let's see.
Okay, and here we go.
Now, what kind of preparations did you have to do today, Barry, to get this up and running?
Well, of course, it wasn't ready when I got up this morning, and so I brought in some gravel, or stone dust really, and made sure the track was level. It has to be almost perfectly level laterally before you won't get derailments. And I'm pretty impressed that after what I did just in a couple hours this morning, this train is actually making it around without going off the tracks. My first go around with my earlier railway, that wasn't true for over a year. We're making history here. That is really cool. I can see a little bump over there, but it's still going.
Now, Barry, I know before you did anything out in the yard, you drew up all your plans on paper first. Is there any chance we can have a look at those?
Oh, sure. I do have the plans on the deck right now, actually.